become the 1%er on this podcast. Today we're going to talk about You Owe You, a book written by Dr. Eric Thomas. And so this book is for two kind of people. The first kind of people is if you are interested in becoming a motivational speaker or just talking in public, this book is for you. The second type of people is if you know that you have and you believe that deep down inside you have a talent, but you don't know how to maximize. This book is for you. We're going to put it in the description. You can buy it. And so if you guys are finding value in this video, thumbs up and subscribe. But before we get into our conversation today, I'm going to give a special shout out to my cousin Michelle, truly providing value, insight to this podcast. The second person is Alexa. Thank you so much for all the comment, the insight, the feedback you share. The last person is as well Monia. We truly appreciate what you guys are doing and helping this channel to be great. Like always, joining the one and only Qynton David, also known as Crispy Q. How you doing, brother?
I'm just doing absolutely like magnificent today. Like I just woke up, the birds were just singing, the sun was just shining brighter just because I get a chance to do this podcast and speak to my good man right here. So I'm doing absolutely amazing.
Hey, it's always a pleasure, right?
Yes.
It's always a pleasure talking about different ideas that will make everybody become the 1%er. So with that being said, Q, what are your favorite takeaway from the book?
So as you said before, right, this is a book that's written by Eric Thomas, pretty much like the number one motivational speaker in the world. And one of the big themes that I found that was in the book was just the fact of understanding that you are not a victim, right? Because I think it's really prevalent in society, and especially in the amongst males, to be honest with you. There's like a thing where it's become more sexy to be a victim. And what he's saying right here is that yes, bad things could have happened to you. Yes, you could be at a disadvantage in certain places, but it's never a advantageous thing to think of yourself as the victim of whatever type of circumstance. He kind of went into the fact of like how he was homeless during some of his adolescent years because his parents kept a very important secret from him. And if you guys like go into the book, like you'll definitely find out like more about it. It was a very deep story, right? But basically because they kept this really massive piece of information from him, he decided that he was going to run away from home because he truly felt like a victim of that particular circumstance. But while he was out there, and he says multiple times in the book, he didn't have to be homeless. He had a mother that would have loved if he was like back at the house, right? And it's not like he was in any personal like danger or anything of that nature, but it was because he saw himself as a victim. I can also say when I was an adolescent, I struggled with seeing myself as a victim of a variety of things, right? Certain things that I experienced like in my high school years occurred where I would look at and I'd be like, dang, woe is me type stuff. You know what I mean? But even though these certain things happen, it's like wallowing over it, and me being like older and wiser, hear myself, I'm not crazy much older out of high school, right? But me being older now, I understand that the way that I was thinking back then truly did me no service, because like, where's feeling sorry for yourself gonna get you? And once I learned when to put the negative energy and the negative feelings into something that's more productive at the time, and still is like baseball, but also like, business opportunities and things of that nature, then that's when I really became, more productive, was when I started seeing myself as like not a victim of my circumstances. So that was one thing that truly showed itself to me in this book.
Nice. So I have a question for you, Q. What are some strategies that you put in place to change that mindset?
No, that's a great question. That's a great question, Sam. I am. And I think one of the big things was one of the big strategies was understanding that the feeling of victimhood, or the feeling of anger that you feel like when you feel like you're a victim, is really energy, right? And the energy that you have within you can be channeled elsewhere. So once I understood that this energy that I have is not doing me any good used in this particular sense, then it was like, okay, where can I put this energy to actually like move me forward and even get me out of this place of feeling like a victim? And so naturally, me being like a busy and like ambitious person, there's a lot of different projects that I have going on that requires, that certain level of, you know, for lack of a better term, aggressive energy, or like just just energy, you know what I mean? That dog. But
Yes,
it's
sir.
like but it's like understanding that I needed to channel that energy into something that's going to truly produce and get me out of the place of victimhood. That's what really helped me get out of that mindset.
I think one common theme that I'm hearing you say is that there is that component of choosing, right? So you made a choice of channeling that energy into something else. And choice is something that everybody has. We all have choices, right? It's either we choose to use that energy towards something more positive, or we keep on reiterating that story of victimhood into our head, right? And so one of the things that I truly liked, right, about this book is he mentioned about the story of Steph Curry, right? And so we know all Steph Curry, Mr. 3 Point, the nice guy, all the media like him. Steph Curry, he is where he is because of the work he put in, right? Do you know how many shots he practiced on a single day?
How many shots?
Like 500 shots, right? So that's like
Dang.
3,500 a week. That's 168,000 shots per year, bro.
That's
That's a
insane.
lot. Yeah, that's a lot of shots, right? And so when you look also at LeBron James, right, he's very athletic, he can dunk, he can do a lot of things. And so we really get excited watching him play, right? But the thing that we fail to realize is that they put so much work into their craft, right? They had the talent, but then be talented was not enough. They had to work. They had to put in the work. And that's something that E.T. Thomas talk about the book. Yes, you might be talented, but talent might not be enough. You have to put in the work. And something that I truly like, not from the book, but a personal quote that I really like is, if you want to perform in front of 1,000, you have to outperform 1,000 in front of nobody. Oh, I'm gonna say that again. If you want to perform in front of thousands, you have to outperform 1,000 in front of nobody.
Hey,
And
no,
the
that's
rest,
real.
yeah, bro, that's very interesting, because when you look into Michael Phelps, Usain Bolt, those guys practice when nobody sees them, right? But then when the light is bright, because of the work they've been putting in, they just outperform everybody.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it was I got this quote from John Morant, but basically he says people see in the light the things that are done in the dark. I don't know
Sheesh.
if that's an original John Morant quote, but it's hard. So it's like I gotta
We'll
give the
give that to
credit where
him.
the credit is. But I'm about to say I'll give it to him. I'll give it to him. What would you say is like another thing that you found very impactful in this book?
Yeah, the second thing that I really found very impactful, and it goes along with what I mentioned earlier on, which is you cannot afford to live in your potential for the rest of your life. You need to tap into your gift. I really like that quote. And that is something that one of my mentor told me is like, Sam, potential will not bring food to your table. Potential is just not enough. And it's the reality that a lot of us have potential, right? But if we do nothing about our potential, there's no like nothing will change, right? So the point here is that we really have to tap into our potential. That's something else that I actually like about the book. So what about you?
I know that's real. That's real. Potential is useless if it's not realized. The second thing that stuck out to me was, and it's really simple, but you control you. I think going back to that first point, it's easy to see certain circumstances or other people as like dictators over what we have going on, right? And I think kind of just bringing it back to that core belief of just you control what you have going on. It kind of gets to it kind of creates in the mind a sense of extreme ownership to where you're not just going by the wayside, just like, dilly dallying throughout life. You feel what I'm saying? Like you want to truly understand that
Yeah.
you have what it
Mm-hmm.
takes to go the direction in which you want to go.
That's nice.
So
That's nice.
yeah, that's the second one that I had. Um, the third one, right? Real friendship is about what you can give. And that may be simple, right?
Mm,
But I think it can be very easy in a society that is very individualistic to see what the person can do for you. And especially in business, right? What can this partner do for me? What can this person do for me? As a real friend, the mindset should always be, what can I give to the person that I'm being a friend with, in a sense, right? Et, in his book, he was pretty much, it was a book about like his story. And in that story he brought up like various people that were like absolutely monumental in his ascension towards being the number one public not public speaker, motivational speaker in the world. uh and in pretty much all of these people's stories, like he talks about his old pastor who really helped him get um the principles of what it meant to be a man, but also how to become like a better public speaker. He talked about his close business partners, the one who he helped build the motivational speaking business with. He talked about all these different types of people, his wife, right? And pretty much all these people all had one thing in common. They had a focus on how they could help him, and it helped cultivate that thing inside him to want to give what he had to help others, which is pretty much what he does today. So yeah, that was the third thing that I had
exactly.
down.
Yeah, that's really nice. Scripture says, "He who waters shall be watered." Right. So,
Mm.
we should definitely focus on how can we actually help the other person, because as you helping one person reach the mountain, you will realize that you're also on the mountain, right? So
Oh, 100%. 100%. Would you say that there is any, and I know this is kind of off the top, right? But would you say that there's any situation in which you found that you giving somebody something created massive returns for you?
yeah, I think the fact of somebody reaching out to you and say thank you so much for this advice, thank you so much for what you've done for me, I think is truly rewarding, right? There's an instance in which I was, let me say, help a person to speak, right, in public. It was a competition, and so yeah, I mean, we put in the work, and eventually the person did well at the competition. And there was another time in which well, I'm forgetting an example, but it's definitively rewarding, right? Helping somebody on their path towards what they want to achieve. So, yeah, that's something that I truly liked about the book.
So that you had that down as well
Yeah, I also
as
had that
your
done.
third thing.
Yeah,
Oh
and
yes.
and I feel like a way to truly deepen a friendship is through sacrificing. When I look into my deepest friendship, there's something in common. There's always a team that pop up, sacrificing for each other, right? Whether that is sacrificing sleep, sacrificing time, sacrificing. There's always a component of sacrifice. And yeah, that's what I'll say, bro.
Yeah, no, anything worth having, it requires sacrifice. You know what I mean?
All right. So now we're going to talk about our 5 special point, right? And so probably I can start with my first favorite point, which is my insurance policy is excellence. That's something he said. My insurance policy is excellence. I truly like that because when you have the mindset of excellence, it will give you a sense of insurance, right? So, for example, if you're working, if you're in business, the simple fact that you are excellent, which means that you do things better than anybody else, it can give you a sense of security, guarantee, probably more customers, and you name it. So that's my first favorite special point. What about you?
Oh, that's real. I would say that my first special point is you need to put yourself in miracle territory. You have to put yourself in position to receive the miracle that you're looking for. I thought that was like a really good point because faith is a very powerful tool, and faith can change the way that you act. Faith will change the way that the positions that you put yourself in, right? And if you have faith that like a miracle will occur, if you like trust that God will like bless you with like a certain miracle, but you don't prepare yourself for the miracle to happen, even if the miracle is granted, you're not even prepared for it to a point where it's like you're not going to use it in a wise way. So I thought that was like a really good point that he brought up, was just making sure that you're ready for what you're asking for, you know?
Nice, nice, nice. Always stay ready, right?
For sure. For
My
sure.
second thing is, guys, if you want to be a dangerous person, right? I want you guys to take a pen and paper, and I'm going to drop something for y'all. Okay?
Dangerous person. Let's get it.
Dangerous time. It's about that time. So it says, a person who lives with passion is dangerous. They have a no surrender mindset, bro. That's my second favorite quote from the book.
Gotta be dangerous in order to succeed. You feel what I'm saying?
It's about that
real.
time.
That's real. I'm about to say. My second one. So my second one, I would say, is he had a point in the book where he was talking about how you should become a triple threat. Going along with the dangerous piece, right? You should become a triple threat. Mm-hmm. And what do I mean by a triple threat? He's pretty much saying it in here. You want to become well-rounded, right? If you look at the example, and I think he brought up the example of certain athletes like LeBron, right? LeBron, Kobe, right?
Right.
It's like they're very, very, very special at one certain thing, which is sports, basketball.
Yeah.
But that's not the only thing that they have going for them, because the minute that their body runs out, even though LeBron's body probably will never run out because he's 40, he's still significantly better.
He's still fit, bro.
Yeah. He got the triple-double like a couple of nights ago. But
yeah,
even though they were like, they're very great at what they do, they have other things to where it's like once one thing kind of runs out, they're able to go straight into the other thing. With LeBron, it's like business, different things. With Kobe, it was storytelling and movies, right? With Shaq, it's endorsements, investments, you know. And he also gave the example of sad to say, Cam Newton, right? Great player. 6'5", 245 pounds, an absolute behemoth of a man, right? Could run like a 4.3 40 yard dash. Crazy athlete. But as soon as he had his injury, it pretty much derailed everything that he had going on. And he had a quote that said, "It's really difficult to still be Superman when the thing that made you Superman is no longer here."
Sheesh.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing. So long story short, be well-rounded. Don't just be extremely good at one thing, but make sure to cultivate the other parts of your life as well.
Exactly. That's really nice. Really nice. Really nice. Okay. So what I truly like as well is the mind can never conceive something is incapable of achieving. I truly like that, bro, because once your mind gives you an idea or a dream, you can actually do it. That's really nice.
For sure. I think that goes back to what we were talking about with the preparing yourself for miracles thing as well. You know, it's like if you truly believe, things will happen. Another thing was the concept of you being like a business, right? Because if you pretty much start with what you have, right? If you start with the excellence that God has given you, you can kind of build around that to truly pour into and give value to other people, which is pretty much the point behind what a business should be about.
Exactly. And so, and so one of the point that I had as well is look at the mirror, and the person that you see is your enemy. That's something that he mentioned in the book, right? You are against you. You are the one probably who set yourself to wake up at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., read thousands of books, and you are the one who will prevent yourself from achieving those goals. So it's you against you, the person in the mirror, probably your worst enemy. And so probably that ties into my next point, which is he says nobody's going to tell you to stop scrolling on your phone. Nobody, right? Nobody gonna tell you to do that. Nobody we're going to tell you to wake up at 5 a.m. Nobody going to do that. I really like that idea, right? And so knowing that, right, you have to put things into place so that you can stop scrolling, so that you can wake up at 5 a.m., so that you can just execute on what you say you're going to achieve, right? And be the best version of yourself. So yeah, those are my 5 the little sentence I actually like from the book.
That's real. That's very real. Stop scrolling. I felt that one. Sometimes you get into the scrolling and you just don't stop.
Yeah, exactly. Because the thing, right, with social media is built for people to just scroll, right? It's literally built for that. Yeah. So if you get into it, eventually that's what you're going to end up doing. So I mean, there's a lot of things you can do, right? It's like putting time limit, getting some apps that will block your social media for a few hours. That's what personally I use, right? And the activate us at a certain time that I chose. So it's truly helpful.
Yeah, y'all. I know that y'all may not know, but like Sam is truly the king when it comes to this. Cause there be times when I'm like, hey, check out this one video. I think this is kind of cool. And he's like, I got my phone, YouTube on my phone blocked. I'm like, I didn't even know that was possible. What the heck? I'd be like posting certain things on IG, and Sam won't like look at it or like it until like 23 hours in. I'm like, and then you gotta think like, oh, he's got his stuff blocked. You know what I mean?
It's pretty interesting. It's really interesting. So I mean, but that truly, bro, really helped me my productivity like a lot. Because I mean, I truly love Instagram, TikTok, Facebook was my thing, but since I had it, it truly makes a huge change. I can dedicate my time towards like reading, learning new skills and so forth. So
For
Definitely
sure.
recommend that.
No, absolutely. And we have like another friend. He another thing that may help. He has like a grayscale that's like installed into his phone to where it's like after like a certain hour, every the entire color palette of his phone turns more gray. And I asked him like, "Why do you do this?" Right? And he said the way in which the people make the phones, they make it, as what Sam was talking about, to be more addictive. And one of the things that kind of helps with that is the vibrancy of the colors that comes from the phone. So by putting on like the grayscale on it, it gives that much more of a it it's more of like a de-incentive. It de-incentivizes staying on the phone for too long. So that could be another thing if maybe you're struggling with productivity and like continuing to scroll.
Bro, I might do that right now, right after this call. I'll implement that. Hey, bro, whatever it takes.
Hey, whatever it takes, man.
To be the 1%er, y'all, to be the 1%er, whatever it takes.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And that brings me to the final one, for my final one, which is discovering your superpower, or like discovering what makes you special in a sense. And what I mean by that is like everybody is predisposed to truly specialize in certain things, right? In the book, Eric talks about how even as a child, he had a fascination for speakers and just understanding the technical aspect of speaking, understanding maybe things that most people wouldn't necessarily understand when it comes to public speaking. And through kind of discovering that through a lot of introspection, and I'll get to how he was able to discover it in a second. He was able to understand that this is how he was going to provide value to the world and then truly cultivate that gift. Now, in order to discover it, he said that he wrote, one of the ways is by writing down pretty much everything that he's truly good at, and he truly has like a gift for, something that comes easy, something that you can do for a long time and not feel like you're doing anything. You know, he puts all those different things down and he tries to see what truly he can cultivate to create value in another person's life. So that was my fifth point that I thought was really cool.
Nice. So we talked about productivity earlier. And so guys, go ahead, go in the chat and write what are some productivity strategies that you guys are using, right, in order to be the 1%er. And so with that being said, I think we covered everything else. Again, I recommend you guys picking the book if you are either interested in getting into the public speaking, or if you feel deep down inside you have a talent but is not yet fully maximized.
Yes, would definitely recommend this book. And also I would ask, if you found value, if you enjoyed hanging out with us today, do us a favor and like the video. It truly helps with the algorithm, and it truly helps get the information that we present to the people that desire it, But with that being said, yeah, we will catch you in the next week and continue to be a part of the 1%.